In this lesson, we will create a simple tool list and a setup sheet used in the Active Reports viewer in MasterCAM. We will also point out the Active Reports Designer in MasterCAM and where you can find the tutorial to learn about customizing your setup sheets. I have a part open that has some operations in the left spindle and the right spindle, and I also have a cutoff pickoff. And I'd like to create a setup sheet for this part. But before I do that, I'm going to create a basic tool list. So I'll right click and select tool list. You can see I have a ghosted operation here, and MasterCAM wants to know if I want to include it, so I'll say yes. And MasterCAM creates a basic tool list for me. So if I look at what I get here, it opens up in the Active Reports viewer, which we'll take a look at that in a minute. And you'll see that all my tools are listed here. And it provides some basic information and a list of parameters about the tools. So if I want to save this, I'll go File, Save As. I have a variety of different options to save it as. I'm just going to save this as a PDF right now, and I'll call it Tool List. Okay, so that's my basic tool list. Now if I want to create a setup sheet, I'll come back and I'll right click again on my Toolpath Manager and I'll grab the setup sheet. Again, it's asking me about the ghosted operation. Now this opens up a dialog for setup sheet, and you can see that there's some information we can put in here. I've got the Project Hub tooling here, our customer's Acme machine, the programmer is Chip Miller, and I'm going to put a note inside of here. Now there's some other options inside of here that you can go ahead and try some different things. I'm going to leave the view of operations selected and a isometric relative to the operations WCS. I'm going to go ahead and select the green check, and you can see it generating it in the background. I'll grab this and bring it over to this screen here, and you can see that we have a setup sheet report. There's the information that we put in there. There's our part just as it sat on the screen. This is where it is on my OneDrive. We have some stock information here, and then I have information about each and every operation with detailed tool information and some diagrams on what each operation is doing. So this is a really handy tool to use inside of MasterCAM. Now we can create customized setup sheets. So if I go to MasterCAM and I go to the Start menu, under the MasterCAM program, you'll find the Active Reports Designer. I'll go ahead and open that up here so you can see the Active Reports Designer. And I'm not going to get into details about this, but I would like to point out that we do have a tutorial on this on mymastercam.com, and I'll show where it is here. So here's mymastercam.com. I'm going to go to Learning and Tutorials, and then I'll go to MasterCAM. And the last tutorial that was done was in 2018. Still very informational, and you'll see down the bottom here that I have 2018 Setup Sheets Active Reports. So if you'd like to know more about how to customize them, you can do that there. But I wanted to show an important tool inside of MasterCAM that can be used for a variety of things from a documentation standpoint.